What's popular, YouTube? Another day, another demo. So here we are, finally, at the end of it. Alien. That's right, this player on your screen. And if you're not familiar with who he is, you should be. Esatag feels like he needs to take this duel. A mistake for him in that situation. Nafly walks up on Flopsky. And so, for me, I think Brokey does beat a lot of timing. And mechanically, a very, very gifted offer. Oh my god, that's so... Wait, what the hell? For me, the greatest rifler in the history of Counter-Strike. I've been watching CSGO closely, year on year, since 2013. It's been 2 years running. Done this top 20, 20 players up, 20 players down. On the repeat here. In 2021, in the year that was half online, half LAN. We had a little bit of everything. Some people like the online stuff. We got a little bit of that for them. And then we got LAN as well, to see who the real GOATs were. And now, in this year, with fantastic storylines being tied up, Nico, Zywoo, etc. Who knows who else? You know, other players of their caliber. There are so many amazing things that we've got to witness as CSGO fans. And I have had the pleasure of being able to help celebrate these moments by bringing in a Laos Top 20 of 2021, a list that is a companion list to the HLTV list that comes out, but it's not meant to predict that list. And I always recommend that people go ahead and look at that. Some of the best content of the year is on HLTV in general, but when they do their top 20, you can learn about all your favorite players, their history. There'll be some historic photos of them with some other players. You're going to see some of them when they looked different, you know, a couple of years ago and have really had a big come up and stuff like that. It's awesome. So go ahead and check them out. It's the reason we're doing this list today. Launders, how do I get better at Counter-Strike? I watch the demo and I don't see any mistakes. My teammates are bots and I always lose. Hold up. Stop right there. Let me tell you about Scope.gg. Scope is the best way to go over your stats so that you can pinpoint what it is about your game that you need to improve upon or need to focus less on so you can spend your time more wisely. Scope is a specialized analytics platform for CSGO players that's free to use. Log in with Steam or Faceit and auto-upload your CSGO demos for review and track your day-to-day in-game performance. Take a look at your most and least effective positions on each map, get in-depth analysis on your utility usage, and you can even use Scope to learn the nades you don't know. Best of all, Scope has a super nice looking demo viewer so you can see all your teammates' bad rotations so you don't have to make the same mistakes. Draw up strats with the easy to use tactical board, and when you're done, hop in a warm-up with Scope's very own practice servers. Join now and find your perfect teammate. As always, link in the description below, and thank you to Scope.gg for sponsoring this video. Today, number 1, who is it gonna be? I haven't spoiled anything as this list has gone on, so I'm gonna continue to not spoil anything, okay? This is a player who this year has put up numbers that no player in history has put up. This is a player this year who was able to win the major without losing a map. This is the player who this year has cemented himself as the all-time greatest player in the history of this goddamn game, okay? This player, okay, you know who this goddamn player is, man. It's simple, baby. 1280 by 960, the GOAT res. I forgot to plug in his view model. I'm gonna do that. Simple is your guy, okay? Simple is the... Listen, if you want to argue about it, it's fine. No one's really listening. Greatest player to touch this game after winning this major. Won this major without dropping a map. Had a 1.45 LAN rating this year across all of the maps that he played. Didn't drop off versus anybody. Got MVP of every single LAN that he attended, which is all of them this year, except for IEM Winter, which is the only LAN they didn't attend. Won the event and got MVP. Navi dropped one best of 3 on LAN this entire year versus Team Liquid in the Blast World Final, and they still went on to win that event. And Simple maxed out the stats, okay? If you're in the character creation menu in your favorite fighting game, he dragged the bars and ripped them all the way to the end on every single... There wouldn't be fun playing this game against him or with them. It's like playing Counter-Strike with cheats on. Quite literally, look at this guy, man. This is insane. He was able to stand up to his nemesis this year in Zywoo, who was able to steal, and really stole last year, the last 2 number 1 player of the year titles. And even if you could say that he definitely stole the last one last year, that it was hella close. And just the fact that it was hella close shows how good Zywoo is. A prodigy, a god. Maybe the best, second best player that we've ever seen in this game. And yet Simple still was able to make a record-breaking year happen and beat him out. Not once and for all, but in this chapter in the same year that he finally brings a major championship to Na'Vi. We get this storyline tied up, and then they continue to still just win everything. Didn't just stop at the major. He's a player who this year, in every single map, has the best stats of any other player in the world, except on Vertigo, which is the one map that Na'Vi don't play. The number of records that were broken this year are endless, and that is not just with Simple. The Simple seems to have even the best ones of those. So in a year where the top 3 players have set records for themselves and for all Counter-Strike players in the history of CSGO, Simple has set the most and been at the top and continues to remain maybe the most consistent. We call Device most consistent. This is year 6 of Simple being in the top 10, year 5 of him being in the top 5, and no signs of slowing down with 2 number 1s and 2 very close number 2s and 1 that was maybe stolen away from him. All right. Is there anything else we need to say? Let's get into the game. We're going to watch the most important best of 3 of the year. Nuke versus G2, where Na'Vi defended their Nuke streak, won the major. MVP was Simple, and it was a game where Simple literally had 40 kills in his capstone performance of the year. We're going to watch the CT side, which is his most famous position, where he went 22-9, had a 1.55 rating, and defended against a 10-5 start for G2. I didn't even want to do this one. Like, I didn't even want to do this intro or any. I feel like everything I'm going to say, like, everyone, like, you know what I mean? I was loathing this demo. I was like, dude, I got to do this intro. I've got to say all these things that everybody knows that is going to be said, but it has to be said. I don't want to gush about Simple the entire time. I don't want to do another goddamn Nuke demo for the rest of my life. But this will be the final one this year. Okay? After this is all over, I'm taking a YouTube break. Today I was feeling inspirited, okay? So I recorded all 4 of the top 4 here today. Oh, what's it going to do? I don't even remember how this game started. Remember, Na'Vi are on their like 13, 14, 15, 16 Nuke win streak in a row. And it looked like they were about to choke here in the 5-10 half, right? Because regularly Na'Vi only got 6-7 rounds on their T sides. But 5-10 versus G2, and G2 were looking this fierce. It looked like, okay, maybe it's over. Maybe their Nuke streak will actually be beaten. That was the question. Will it happen? Oh, crosshair placement, just waiting for the peak. They finally give it to him. And, dude, somehow Na'Vi still stood up against G2 to come back into this game. Well, I say somehow. Simple just went God mode once again. The most consistent performance you can expect out of anybody on any map in this game, in any of the years I've ever watched, is Simple on CD side Nuke. We talked about in the Bit one of how Bit was able to steal a couple of maps away from Simple in terms of top performer on the map. But that's just to show you, how much of a unicorn those individual performances were because of Simple. So yeah, this is where things definitely start to go wrong. And this is Na'Vi defending again against a very powerful G2 in a major final, and we don't know what would have happened if it got to Mirage. And if you were watching the game, of course, there's the infamous Nico Deagle shot. Everyone was like, he was on him. Obviously, Nico did miss that shot, and he was slightly off, and he flicked a tiny bit off, okay? But you have to understand the level of pressure that he must have been under in that moment. It is actually extraordinary. I mean, it must have been excruciating because it's, we saw Nico in all of their biggest games, have no problem whatsoever. But the major final in overtime, this is why we rate LAN so highly. This is why we rate LAN, all of these things. So look at this, man. The ace, the 4K spray down. I don't give a shit if it was an eco. Who cares? Sorry, I'm a little drunk. Started drinking so much wine on Happy New Year's, everybody. A little bit late, but you never know. It might be New Year's in Mars right now or something. We got the interrupted smoke. That spray down. That got the people going. Everyone's like, oh, okay, all right. Here it's going to start. Oh, okay. Shout out to Nico. Just walking around outside. But yeah, that infamous Deagle shot. You know what? We'll look at it. We'll look at it here. It's in overtime, so we'll see. But there was the question. I mean, we have seen specifically Na'Vi destroy G2 on Mirage, on LAN this year. So even if it could have gone to Mirage and G2 are very good at Mirage, there was still no guarantee for them that and in a final. So there's no guarantee for them that they would just simply win or they had odds. No one was beating Na'Vi. This was the closest anyone came at this major to taking a map off Na'Vi, let alone a series. Look what just happened. I don't even know where Nico came from. He dropped off Mini. It wasn't spotted, but they pulled this kill back. Okay, things are getting hairy. Not only was it a 10-5 half, it's a 13-7 start. If it didn't need to get any spicier. Does it go down? I think it goes down 14-8, right, at one point. Maybe we should set that up, actually. Let's see. A chance we pull that off. 14-7. Oh my god, 14-7. And there is, you know, some element of a choke in this position to be this close to the finish line and not being able to pull it off. But honestly, when I was watching the game, I streamed the whole thing. And the entire time, even from this point, I said, I don't think G2 are going to win. And the only reason I could ever be that confident about it, you know, somebody who has to watch it based on what we've seen in the past, is we've seen Na'Vi get close to losing Nuke over and over again. But if there's CT side to look forward to, we've seen them put up blowout halves consistently. So I saw the 7-14 scoreline. Honestly, I was thinking, number one, I don't expect Na'Vi to simply choke this major. I didn't call that at all. Just call that they would win. They would do it. I just didn't believe they would choke. Number two, it's G2. No, I'm just kidding. Number two, they've done it before on Nuke with the comebacks over and over again. If there's one thing about this weird, you know, Na'Vi era, it's they've shown just such an insane level of resilience, right? Throughout their games. The fact that they are coming back into a lot of their matches, in my opinion, it's not necessarily a great thing because it doesn't show how dominant they are, but it does show, you know, how consistently they can come back. And I think that's just an important part of CS and something that has affected Na'Vi in the past, you know, tilting and getting into a position where you're just like, can't handle the pressure or can't take the emotions of losing a few important rounds, but showing yourself consistently that you can come back into the games. That's something that has given Astralis an aura as well. Now their era, I guess, was way longer overall as well. So we saw both an Astralis period that was incredibly dominant and one that was full of resilience at the same time. And we'll see more about Na'Vi's. Now I think they're on week 25. Compared to the 50-plus weeks that Astralis were #1 in the world. So that's another record that needs to be beaten. And I think for now, I still think, you know, I think that's the first time where a new team has had an era where I don't think it was stronger than the last one. Because every new team is so much better. But I still hold Astralis 2018 as the single best team of all time that would win versus any other team in their peak era. This Na'Vi, I agree, has more individual skill, but more top hitty at the same time between Simple, Bit, and Electronic with, well, for me, top 5 players. And then Bit and Boomich and Perfecto are great players, but for me, they're not like a Glaive Zipex in terms of their peak level overall. And I personally wonder if they'll be able to hold it up for a very long time, but who knows? You know, at the major, we saw that consistency and what they can do, and they won. So that's true, and I don't mean to disparage them in any way. And they worked hella hard. Like Boomich, people were talking about Boomich's hours and stuff. I was putting in 200 hours a week, or 200 hours in 2 weeks. More hours than there are in a week he was putting in, basically, to pull this off. Look at Simple go. He's been rifling through almost this entire comeback. And when we see with Simple, as we talked about so many times about him on Nuke and on CT side, is his pervasive,ness, right? Ooh, what a nade. Holy, what a nade. Look at that. Soaring over top of Mini. Wow, that was incredible. The clearance was like, he had barely an extra foot, you know, a few inches right there. Square on the box, right at Jax's toes. Popped them all off. But what we see with Simple is the amount of rotations that he makes. It's why he gets the most stats, but it's also why he's the best player. He doesn't just rotate blindly, right, into all these different positions. He gets there for a reason, but he's always right, pretty much, about what he does. Tell me I got a flash assist off that. Only Simple flashes last 10 seconds. Only Simple flashes. And now Na'Vi are starting to feel pretty good, right? This is where it basically must start to feel like an even game. What Simple just did there, right there is so important. Spamming down that squeaky vent. Spamming the cross, all these smokes. Always do it. Don't be shy. Don't just let the smokes be up. It's just silly because They know you're there. It's not a secret. And if they cross with no damage and get lower, it's a nightmare for the CTs. Look at how many players are on top site right now. They're pushing into lobby hoping G2 reroute back. But if G2 don't reroute back, then they've just got to open up for the ramp retake. So I guess they're posted here so that they have a fast rotation at least. Oh, and it is going to be upstairs maybe. Let's see if Jax is catching rotators. Probably not, right? Ooh, that's one important duel that Nexa wins. And here's where it gets scary. Okay. Wow. Bit throws that molly just for Jax to be on the other side of it so he can peek behind it. And now G2 are up 15-10. Oh my god, everyone's scared. How are they going to do it? The op comes out. No more rifling. That's it. We're going to level 2. Now here we're looking for, in case there's a fast outside cross, scoping really early as well. And the upstairs hit coming on. Teammates doing well. Don't need to jump the gun just yet. Still have the op in hand. But oh my god. Of course it's like that. Of course it's like that. And Nico goes down to 15-11, famous North American scoreline. 2018 Boston, never forget. Let's go, baby. Used to be Inferno, though. Next time, we'll get another. I'm hanging on to that for dear life. That one major that we have. That's all we got. Besides the Liquid, that era? I don't know. Was it an era? I guess so. No major, but they got the Grand Slam. Harder than a major. It's a big thing, you know, to win a Grand Slam. Bigger, it's harder than a major by far. Way harder. So, also impressive. Yeah, North America's pretty good. Anyways, this one was about Europe and the CIS, which is also Europe, I think, right? I don't even know. I actually don't. I didn't fail geography because I didn't go. Actually, I failed. That's why. No, I failed. If you don't go, you actually fail. I passed. I don't know why I lied about that. I didn't go very much, but I passed. But I wasn't very good. I'm not trying to brag. I can pass and still be bad at jog. Nice shot. Let's go. The jump spot. The dolphin peak. Nico goes down. And see, that's all they need to know. And you know that G2 are going to move around this frag, right? The fact that they know Simple's down there for now, it's a good opportunity. Okay, Nico and Simple go in for one, but now they're both displaced with how far away Simple is. So he just immediately gets out of there, out of the action. And Simple looking for a couple of things. The jump spots here, any kind of signs of a body. Someone could be throwing a jump smoke as well. And it is just getting ridiculous. Like, look what happens right here, actually. Look what happens right here. No way he pushes through that with just his deagle out. On match point in a major grand final, he just did that. Okay? Everything on the line. And this is what it's going to come down to. Oh, the shot from heaven. Look at that, dude. Look at that shot. And this is what it's going to come down to. Oh, the shot from heaven. Look at that, dude. Look at that shot. Look at that shot. Okay, we all saw it from Nico's perspective. And it was, oh my god, he missed. Oh my god, he was on him. Oh my god, he got CSGO'd. Whatever. Did you see the reaction from Simple? That was not an easy punish at all. I just like to point that out. Oops, out the Gungners. That's crazy. That's insane, man. He wanted it. Maybe he wanted him more. Maybe that was the moment. You know what I mean? Nah, I think Simple and Nico both want it unrelentingly. And after seeing this, I have full faith now that FaZe can win a major, Nico can win a major. You know, all these guys can get theirs. I wonder if ZywOo can. Because, like, at least the teams, you know, G2 are closer than Vitality probably. But who knows? With this new Vitality, we might be in business. But, man, look at this. That's a round you tell yourself, okay, we can win. People were talking about having a graffiti for that moment. That would be such a terrible thing to do, actually. It'd be, like, funny, but awful. I feel like that would actually affect results. Like, what if you had to look at that, like, the smallest error put on display for the rest of your life every time you play it. You couldn't even play Nuke anymore into 15. And this is where we know, like, Na'Vi are chilling. They're happy. They're in their comfort zone now. Now it's not about the fact that G2 are 1 round away from overtime. It's the fact that they're within 1 round, right? They're in 1 round of OT. They're so comfortable playing on the edge all the time. Oh, that's a nasty one too. It's going to get worse. Let's see. He even hangs out for a bit. It's a little bit worried about this fast rotation. They don't chase him down just yet. And Simple taking the risk of going to clock. This is a scarier one. And if they chased him down, then they, you know, would have been kind of a free kill. But once he gets up here, it's a very powerful spot to be as opposed to down there. So expecting some space. But this is where you can just see Simple is there. He's playing. He's not playing to not lose. He's simply playing to win. And I think even a small thing like that shows it, right? 14-15 at what you feel like is your major. And he could have rotated and jumped down, not stayed out that little extra bit, nothing like that. No. He just played the exact game that he knows. Didn't change it 1 iota. And I actually think that's a really nice note to kind of end on instead of going into overtime and watching the comeback. You know, I can think of how many times a player has told themselves, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to here, and then changed it to go with the safe option, and then use the safe option, and then lost because of it. And it's in this spot. We have a free win. Nico can't plant. Simple wins. They get to overtime. Na'Vi win in overtime, spoilers, and Simple gets his MVP, and they win the major. An incredible story, man. An incredible year. And it has been incredible for me to be able to round out the year in this way. And I want to thank HLTV again for the idea to be able to do this. I want to thank everybody who's joined us. The viewership has been extraordinary. It's always a great year, part of the year for the channel. Thank you to Mo Stacks for doing the editing this year and really stepping up. Thank you to Davey DeMio for doing the thumbnails that have been actually exquisite. And also Apollo for doing some of the thumbnails earlier this year. So there used to be everything has made this channel really beautiful for me, and I love doing YouTube, and I will always continue to do YouTube. And it's great to be able to end with a grind, with a bang, with a great list, with a great celebration of all the things we love about esports, and cap off a great year of YouTube. And 100K on the channel, lots to be proud of, and a lot of fun moments recorded now forever. That's my favorite part about YouTube, that I would always do this even if it was for completely free. So yeah. Thanks everybody. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride. Absolutely means the world. And I know if I can make your days better, if you enjoy the content, that's all I care about. Counter-Strike is an escape for a lot of us, and a way for us to kill time, a way for us to participate in understanding or trying to be excellent at something. That's a gift that all esports give to you, to allow us to compete in a very safe way versus each other. And that's an awesome thing, and we're here to celebrate that. At the end of the day, I'm just an entertainer, and if the moment that I'm not entertaining, like Ludwig said, just turn me off like a TV. That's all I should be. But as long as I can be that, I'm happy. So, yes. See you in 2022. Oh, it's already 2022. I'm recording on New Year's. Anyways, I'm going to take a break, a little break from YouTube. I might take a break from everything and just log off for a bit, and then come back, try to bring in some new ideas, come back with the content, slowly get started as the year goes on, and ramp up as everything happens, and then do it all again next year. Top 20, baby. Comment, like, subscribe, all that. Shout out to everybody that I see in the comments all the time. And as always, be safe. Have a great 22.